What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to acquire us some silver on sale. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the spot price of silver falling to now below $30 an ounce, down over 7%. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the $29 an ounce silver range, and it could keep falling lower. As my former assistant would say, oh my God, oh no! We're going to talk about it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. Now, really quick, before we fully dive into the video, 4 very quick things I want to show you guys. Number 1, make sure to get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have a brand new product just dropped a couple days ago. It's a t-shirt and a coffee mug that says, "It's a great day to have a great day." DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier version of the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description. This right here is the best flavor ever, just so you know. 3, if you haven't already started investing and you would like to, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to navigate on the app and learn about the different stocks. Webull link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, microscopes, the list goes on. Any and all stacking supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Alright, so, in today's video, we need to talk about the spot price of silver and what on God's green earth is going on, how we should be reacting right now, how we should be responding right now to the spot price of silver falling during times of economic uncertainty, financial hardships, tariffs versus retaliatory tariffs, geopolitical conflict, the stock market in shambles, everything that you can pretty much imagine that would ordinarily cause silver and gold to be strengthening. Now, what's funny about the topic of this video is I was going to be filming this video regardless of what silver did this week. I would have been filming this video if silver had continued climbing. I have a list, like a note in my phone, in the notes app. I have a list of video topic ideas. Anytime I think of something, whether it's during the day, I might wake up in the middle of the night and think, hey, you know what, that might be a cool video idea. I'll add it to that list. Maybe I'll be at work and I'll think of something. I was like, hey, you know what, that would make sense. And I can put this idea out there and get some opinions on this, that, or the other thing. And one of the things on the list was supposed to be a hypothetical video. And it was something along the lines of, what if silver were to fall down to $29 an ounce? I didn't think it was going to, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This week, it did. The spot price of silver, as I'm filming this video on Saturday, April 5th, 2025, $29.56 per ounce. Look at that right there. Down $2.27, down 7.13%. I personally didn't expect silver to fall. I would have expected a little bit of a dip. I would have expected a little bit of a drop. If it fell down to $32, $31, maybe even $30, it wouldn't have been that big of a surprise. But for it to fall below that $30 mark, that kind of caught me off guard. And like I said, I was going to be filming this video regardless. But it was supposed to be a hypothetical video, not a, oh my God, silver's now in the $29 range video. While we're on the topic of spot price, let's also mention the spot price of gold. I have that up as well. Spot price of gold as I'm filming the video, once again, Saturday, April 5th, 2025. $3,036.80, down $77.90, or 2.5%. It's a little different than silver. 2.5%, not the most intimidating drop in the world. Silver, on the other hand, 7.13%. Silver took more punishment than gold, clearly. Now, that is, to be honest, to be expected. Silver is the more volatile metal between the two. Gold tends to be a little bit more stable, a little bit... it does a better job on its feet than silver does. Silver, when times are good for precious metals, oftentimes you'll see silver moving in an upward direction along with gold, but percentage-wise, silver oftentimes does a little bit better. But the same thing happens in the other direction as well. When times are tough for the precious metals and gold takes a hit, percentage-wise, silver typically takes a bigger hit. They both move in a downward direction, but silver takes more punishment. Silver is a little bit more reactive to the upward and downward swings. It's a little bit more volatile, which is why a lot of the big dogs will prefer the beautiful yellow metal, the gold coins, rounds, and bars, some even preferring the paper gold, which I'm personally not interested in. I like the physical gold. I like the physical silver. I'm not too interested in the paper precious metals. To me, that's not precious metals. But when it comes to the precious metals at this current time, when it comes to the silver taking a bit of a hit, when it comes to the gold taking a bit of a hit, sure, it might have caught a lot of us off guard. Sure, it might have surprised a lot of us. And sure, it might have scared the absolute bejesus out of some of us. Oh my God, I bought silver at $31 and now it's $29. Oh no. Which, by the way, as I said in the intro, that's actually how my former assistant used to talk. When I got transferred out to I was given a new position. When I got transferred out to my new location at my job about 2 years ago, it also came with an assistant. This assistant was 70 years old and lied on his resume and accidentally got the job as a kind of a backup version of me. And yeah, he would look out the window, and anytime a truck would be backing up, he would say, "Oh my God, here comes a truck!" Anyway, well, anyway, enough about him. Enough of good old Ed. I want to talk about the silver. See, many of us right now, especially if you're new to stacking, something that you gotta understand, or something that you gotta understand about me, I should say. Maybe this isn't a blanket statement for absolutely everyone, but the way I've always seen it, from really the first couple months of stacking. See, I realized this early on, and I started stacking before I started investing. Yes, I invest as well. I am heavily invested in the stock market. I am heavily interested in stacking silver and gold, and I treat them both with equal priority, but I prioritize one over the other depending on what's going on in the world. I prioritize the one that's spending more time in the red than in the green. I prefer the underdog, and I prefer to be more of a contrarian. See, when the stock market is like euphoric, when everything's going up, when everything is skyrocketing, and you gotta, like, if you want to find something that's declining in the stock market, like, you actually have to try, you have to hunt it down. When times are like that, it's probably a little bit smarter to have more of an emphasis on stacking silver and gold, because those are the ones that are probably being neglected, and vice versa. When the silver and gold, when everybody's like rallying into silver and gold, everybody's super excited about the coins, the rounds, the bars, usually you'll notice that, the economy might be not doing so well, kind of like how we've been seeing for the last month or two. We've seen a lot of economic uncertainty, and we have seen the stock market rapidly declining. We are absolutely, without a doubt, you can't argue it, we are in a correction. A correction, by definition, is a decline of 10% from recent highs. That is where we are. Kind of like how a recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. If you see Q1 of whatever year with negative GDP growth, and Q2 of whatever year, negative GDP growth, that is by definition a recession. And if somebody were to say, "Oh no, that wasn't a recession," they're just incorrect. So by definition, a correction, a stock market correction. By definition, a decline of 10% or more from recent highs. We are there. We are down more than 10% from recent highs. And oftentimes, you'll see that silver and gold do very well when the stock market is behaving that way, which is what we've been seeing up until this week. The last month, month and a half, maybe even 2 months, the silver and gold have been doing fantastic things. Gold was hitting a new all-time high, and shortly after that, it hit another new all-time high, and then another, and then another, and another. Silver is at a 12-year high. So the precious metals have been doing very, very well, opposite of the stock market, which has been suffering this entire year. During times like this, ordinarily, when the silver and gold are doing very, very well and the stock market is rapidly declining or even mildly declining, what would be the more contrarian approach at that time? It would probably be to aggressively invest more in the stock market because the silver and gold is up. Everybody's focused on that. Maybe it might be time to focus on what everybody is neglecting. You want to get whatever's on sale, and guess what? It'll flip-flop at some point eventually, and then you can flip-flop your approach. When everybody gets more aggressive with the stock market and everybody starts forgetting about the silver and gold, it might be more intelligent to start picking up the silver and gold, because guess what? It's probably on sale, which is what I wanted to talk about today. Silver, what a lot of us should be saying right now, we shouldn't be freaking out. We shouldn't be fearful. We shouldn't be panicking and saying, oh my God, silver's down more than 7%. What we should be saying, and what I'm absolutely saying at this current time, is that silver is over 7% off. Silver is on sale right now. We're getting a more than 7% discount, according to the spot price. Now, like I started to say earlier, something that I realized early on when I first started stacking. See, it didn't take me a long period of time to figure this out. And this was before I started investing in the stock market. This is when, like, my first step into the financial world was with the precious metals. And what I realized early on, since I picked up my very first piece of silver ever in December, in November or December of 2017, I think it was December. Either way, I picked up my first piece of silver. Let's just say December of 2017. I got a little bit more. And then come January of 2018, I was getting a little bit more. And then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And the spot price at the time was like $17.02 or something like that. I think that's what the spot price was the day that I picked up my first piece of silver, so let's call it about $17. What was the spot price of silver within a month? About $16.75. Now, some people, the weak hands, we call them, might freak out. Oh my God, I bought it at $17, now it's $16.75. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? It's going to zero. A truck is backing up, oh my God. What does that mean? It means that the next time I hit the local coin shop or place an online order, I can get the same exact amount of silver, but a little tiny bit cheaper. And guess what? That's what I did. Picked up my first piece of silver at $17.05 or whatever it was. I picked up my next little batch of silver, handful of silver rounds, I believe it was, at $16.75 roughly. A week or two went by and I was getting ready to go and grab myself a little bit more silver. And what was the spot price at that time? About $16.50. What was it the next time? About $16.40. Then $16.20. Then about $16.05. Then $15.82. And then $15.52. And then $15.13. And guess what happened over the course of that entire year, 2018? The spot price of silver went from where it was when I first started, about $17, all the way down to about $14. What did I do that entire year? I happily got more and more and more and more and more and more and more. You want to know what else I was doing at that time? I was filming videos, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And I was saying, as a brand new silver stacker, that the spot price of silver may never, ever be this low again. I was saying that when spot price went from 17 when I started to about $14 that year, I was saying the spot price of silver may never, ever be this low again. And I saw it as a major buying opportunity. I said, this is fantastic. I love silver. I'm very interested in silver. This is a fun hobby of mine. And I plan on acquiring as much as I can for the long haul, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years out. And it seems as though every time I'm ready to get more, there's an even bigger sale. Imagine going to the grocery store, buy yourself a box of Cheerios, and you see, hey, it's 10% off. All right, that's pretty cool. I was going to buy it either way, but it's 10% off. Win-win. Then you go back in a week later for another box of Cheerios. Now you see it's 20% off. Oh my God. Once again, I was going to buy it anyway. I was going to buy it at normal price. If I caught it at another 10% off, that would have been cool, but now I caught it at 20% off. That's how you got to look at it. It's something that you're going to be buying either way. So when the spot price is moving in a downward direction, it means you get a little bit better bang for your buck. You can get a little bit more silver for the same exact amount of currency. Or you can get a larger amount of silver for a lower amount of currency. Or, let me word it a little bit differently. You can get more silver for the same amount of currency, or you can get the same amount of currency for a lower dollar bill amount. It's on sale. That's how you should probably look at it. Now, I also don't believe in discouraging people from making their own financial decisions. I'm not one of those people that say, hold. I don't care what anybody does. If you truly, genuinely want to sell, go ahead and sell. By the way, if you want to sell, hit me up. I'm buying. But here's the thing. Regardless of what spot price is doing, the way I've always seen it is I win. I win either way. Guess what happens if the spot price goes up? Sure, it becomes a little bit more difficult to obtain. Sure, or a little bit more costly, I should say. Still very, very obtainable, very, very accessible, but now it just takes a larger dollar bill amount. Which could be seen as a bad thing. Sure. If you want to get silver for cheap and all of a sudden it's becoming a little bit more expensive, yeah. Okay, but guess what? Net worth goes up. It's performing in the way that we would absolutely like it to perform over the long haul anyway. So if the spot price goes up, that's a good thing. If the spot price goes down, that's a good thing, because now we can get more. And when the spot price does inevitably go up, now we have a larger amount in our possession as it appreciates in value. Which, simultaneously, the dollar bill depreciates in value. So the more silver we have, the more of a chance we have to protect ourselves from long-term inflation. That's the way I've always seen it. And that's the way I saw it at the very beginning, within my first couple of months of stacking. See, somebody that's brand new to stacking silver or gold, regardless of your precious metal of choice, somebody that's brand new, I get it. I can understand why a person might get freaked out a little bit. I understand. I've never been in that position because, like I said, the first time I got, or my first 12 months of stacking, the spot price did absolutely nothing but decline. And every time it declined, every little step down that it took, I got a step up in level of excitement. I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. It went all the way down to $14, and I said, give me $13. Give me $12. Give me $8. But I was saying at the time that I saw it as an opportunity, a buying opportunity. It's a sale. It's a discount. That's how I looked at it. And I can understand why somebody who recently stepped into the silver stacking world might be hesitant, might be a little intimidated. I get it. I personally was not there when I was in your shoes, but I do understand. I get it. Same thing goes for investing. You buy a stock, $100 a share. on Friday before the market closes. Monday morning when the market opens back up, oh my God, it's 97 bucks. I'm down 3%. I get it. I understand why people could be intimidated. I understand why people could be a little bit fearful. But one thing you want to understand, once you are converting your dollar bills into assets, once you are converting your dollar bills into whatever your asset class of choice is, you should understand that once those dollar bills leave your hand and are exchanged for the asset of your choosing, we're focusing on silver, so let's talk about silver. The dollar bills only matter when they're still in your hand. You want to get the best bang for your buck. It's not like, I don't care, it's just cash, take as much as you want. That's not how we see it. Oh yeah, a piece of silver, a little 1 ounce silver bar, generic silver bar, nothing super special about it, and you want me to pay $200? Yeah, who cares? Dollar bill's going to zero, take $300. No, we don't say things like that. We're trying to get the best deal possible, and right now at over 7% off, I think it's a fairly decent deal, if you ask me, in my opinion. But the dollar bills only matter when they're still in your hand. Or still in my hand, at least. The dollar bills only matter to me when I'm still holding on to them. After I hand them over in exchange for silver, I no longer look at that little piece of silver as, oh, that's, it's a piece of silver, $29 an ounce spot price, let's call it about $4 premium tacked onto it, $33 out the door stack price. I'm not looking at it and saying to myself, oh, this is worth $33. No, I'm looking at it and say, this is an ounce of silver. See, I only measure it in dollars before I acquire it. Once I acquire it, it's no longer $33 worth of silver. Now it's 1 ounce of silver. See, that's how you have to measure your wealth. Once it's in your possession, you got to measure your wealth in troy ounces. You walk out the door and say, I got myself 5 ounces of silver. Doesn't matter to me, personally, how much those 5 ounces of silver are worth in fiat currency dollars, because I traded those fiat currency dollars away to get rid of them. I upgraded. I'm not interested in measuring it in the downward way. It's like a demotion, is how I see it. I'm not going to demote my silver by measuring it in dollars. I'm going to promote my dollars by trading it for silver and measuring it in troy ounces. See, that's why you'll see some of the richest people out there. They don't say, oh, I have $1 million in this, I have $1 million worth of that. A lot of the time, they don't word it that way. A lot of the time, they'll say, oh, I have 10,000 ounces of silver. I have 1,500 ounces of gold. I have 3,000 shares of whatever stock. See, regardless of what asset class you prefer, or the asset class of your choosing, for the most part, we're talking about precious metals here, it doesn't matter how much your stack is worth in dollar bills. What matters is how many troy ounces of silver and gold are a part of your stack. And if you were investing, it'd be the same way. It doesn't matter how much your shares of whatever stock are today. What matters most is how many shares. You want to acquire as many shares as possible, because it doesn't matter what today's prices are. What matters is the long haul. Same thing goes for real estate. Oh, I have an $800,000 real estate portfolio. A lot of the time they won't say that. They'll tell you how many doors they have, how many units they own, how many acres are in their possession. Maybe they'll talk about that. Oh yeah, I have 800 acres. I have 9 units. I have 3 rental properties. They'll say it like that. Because that's what's important. The land, the units, the doors, the houses, the shares, the troy ounces. That's what matters to me. That's what matters to many of us. See, once you go stack, you never go back, is how I like to look at it. Once the cash leaves your hand, unless you're someone that's in it for the short term and you're just looking to flip silver, and my response to that is, if you're looking to flip, you might want to flip elsewhere, because silver and gold aren't really, at least in my opinion, shouldn't really be used like that. Silver and gold are a lot of the time slower movers. Yeah, silver's a little bit more volatile. But coming around full circle here, $29 an ounce spot price, or $29.56 spot price. Does that mean you are walking into the local coin shop or going onto a precious metal dealing storefront and picking up every single troy ounce of silver for $29.56 a piece? No, you gotta factor in a premium. If you go to a local coin shop, you could probably get a better deal. Premiums are typically lower at the local coin shop. If you are getting silver or gold online, yeah, you gotta factor in a little bit of the premium. So no, the out the door price is not $29.56. It's probably going to be closer to $33.56 because you've got to factor in a little bit of a premium. But $33 and change out the door price, maybe even lower, $32 and change. It's better than a week ago when the spot price was $34, $35. Factor in a little bit of a premium, that's a $38, $39 price tag attached to each troy ounce of silver. See, that's how you got to look at it. Right now, it's a better deal. A week ago, the spot price plus the premium meant that we'd be paying about $38 per troy ounce. Now that the spot price is down a little bit, now instead of $38 out the door price tag, we could probably get it for $34, maybe even $33 or $32 out the door stack price. It's on sale. You can now get more silver for the same amount of currency, or the same amount of silver for a lesser amount of currency. It's on sale. The same thing you'd buy anything else on sale. And people freak out and complain about it. It's unbelievable. You'd never see people in the grocery store saying, "Oh my God, this is $4 and it's on sale. I wanted to pay $4.50." You never see people saying that. If you're in it for the long haul, and especially if you recently started stacking, you should not be complaining about a discount. If your plan was to get more silver in the coming weeks anyway, you shouldn't be complaining. If you're saying to yourself and you're thinking to yourself, you're in it for the long term, you're in it for at least another 10 to 20 years. If that's where you're at, multiple decades out, there's no reason in the world you should be complaining right now. If you are going to buy more silver this week or this month anyway, you should not be complaining that spot price is down. Just putting that out there. But hey, this is just my opinion. It's been my opinion for the last 7+ years, 7 years and 4 or 5 months or something like that. Going on 7.5 years. My opinion on that right there has not changed. I have changed my opinion on certain things related to precious metals. I've learned as I've gone. And as the great Chael Sonnen always says, I reserve the right to change my opinion when confronted with new information. In the last 7.5 years, I've been presented with plenty of new information. A lot of that new information didn't change anything for me. Some of that new information did change some of my opinions. I've become more informed, more educated. I've learned quite a bit over the last 7.5 years. I've been doing this for quite a while. 7.5 years. That's a pretty long time if you think about it. And guess what? I plan on doing it for another 7.5 years. I don't plan on stopping. But I've learned a lot. And I've changed my opinion on certain things. My eyes have been open to certain things. But my opinion on the spot price moving in a downward direction when I was planning on buying more anyway has not changed. I see it as a sale. I see it as a discount. I see it as silver at the moment being about 7% off. It's just how I look at it. Gold is 2.5% off. That's how I look at it. If you have a different opinion, it's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. But when there's something I want to buy anyway, and I can get a better bang for my buck, to me, I have a little party in my head. I'm like, yes, I was going to buy more anyway, and now I can get it for a little bit cheaper. You'll never catch me complaining about a discount. But anyway, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. What are your thoughts on the spot price of silver falling below $30 an ounce? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you plan on buying? Or do you plan on complaining? Let me know. If you guys like today's video, please Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. 4 quick things as we wrap up the video. Number 1, make sure to get some DYDSS merchandise. That's right, we have a brand new merch drop. It's a great day to have a great day. T-shirts and coffee mugs. Store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack right now on Amazon. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. This one right here, best flavor ever. Number 3, if you haven't already started investing and you would like to, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to learn, and it's simple to navigate on the app. Webull link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, microscopes, the list goes on, any and all stacking supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Once again, I want you guys to let me know in the comments section, what are your thoughts on the spot price of silver falling to now below $30 an ounce? Caught me off guard. Did it catch you off guard? What are your thoughts on the spot price of silver being over 7% off right now? What are your thoughts on the 7+% discount we have on the beautiful white metal and the 2.5% discount we have on the beautiful yellow metal? What are your thoughts? Do you plan on buying more? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.